Welcome to Eden Fractal. So we're here for our season finale, and we just had a wonderful town hall, and we're going to play our final respect game of the season. You can see on the right side some topics we discussed during Eden Town Hall. I'm just going to give a quick intro because we've all been on the call together here. I did actually put together an event agenda because Timothy gave some great feedback in the Fractal Nouns chat about better ways to handle the agenda or the presentations. So shout out to Timothy for that. First, I'm going to give a brief introduction to Eden Fractal. For anyone who's not familiar, I'm going to do a super quick recap of Eden Town Hall and just encourage people to watch the video about that. And then we're going to just give a very brief introduction to the respect game as well. And then we'll play the respect game. So if anybody is listening in, I'll just take a couple minutes to do this. So if you're not familiar with Eden Fractal, it's a community dedicated to optimizing collective decision making through collaborative research, development, education, gamification, and community engagement. We've been collaborating since 2021. Everyone's welcome to join our biweekly events. You can check out our vision that all communities and organizations should have the best tools and methods to make the best possible decision making, that all collective decisions should be fast, fair, and fun. And we're achieving this by implementing fractal decision making processes throughout society via collaborative research, development, education, gamification, and community engagement. That's our mission. You can learn more about this at edenfractal.com. If you're not familiar with fractal decision-making processes, it's kind of like how plants branch out in fractal patterns to maximize growth and resilience. People can do that too by breaking into smaller groups to coordinate effectively at any scale, and also using things like the respect game, using fun consensus processes that work with the blockchain, work on Ethereum, work on Base to help people make better decisions together and enjoy those decisions. So everyone's welcome to explore more about what we're working on at edenfractal.com. Check out the blog, check out the videos, join our biweekly events, and check out the tools that we use in the Optimistics Toolkit as well to play respect games at each event. So we usually meet every other Thursday at 17 UTC, although this would be the last event of the season. So hope to see you all at the future events in 2026. Of course, you could check out all 131 videos that we've created so far at Eden Fractal, as well as the Eden Town Hall videos on the Eden Creators YouTube channel. And encourage you to like and subscribe there. Register on the Optimistics event calendar, lu.ma optimistics. And as a reminder, we will be returning for season 12. I think I said we're finishing season 12, but we're finishing season 11 actually, and we're beginning season 12 of Eden Fractal on Thursday, January 15th of 2026. So we'll be having a break. We're probably going to schedule some town halls over the break too, so stay tuned on the calendar and in the Telegram chat, but we did use our consensus process to officially begin season 12 of Eden Fractal on January 15th, 2026. So look forward to seeing you all then. You can see on the screen how we made this decision and the tools that we're using to coordinate our community decision making and so forth. And then as a very brief recap, we just had this town hall where we played the Respect Trees game. And there was all these topics that you could see on the screen here that we discussed. Check out the video for a talk about the season finale where we talked about pausing Optimism Fractal first, and we came to some pretty good consensus about that. We also talked about restructuring our time for Eden Town Hall and Eden Fractal for next season, and we also talked about the agency as well, the initiative that Ryan has been working on that is doing some really exciting stuff, rebranded from the creators. He's working with base creators, and he's inviting people to get involved, and he's working to collaborate with Eden Fractal and the Fractal ecosystem. So check out the video. We'll probably discuss that more after the spec game too. But yeah, I won't go too much into detail now about that, and that'll be published on the Eden Town Hall videos page. So everyone here is familiar with how to play the respect game now. If you're not, the way it works basically, or if you're watching, you're not familiar, the way it works basically is we're each going to share what we've done to contribute to Eden Fractal's mission and vision about helping people make better decisions. Also, feel free to just share any general introductions and anything you're doing in aligned ecosystems, like helping out in Ethereum base and so forth, helping out with fractal governance. Feel free to share that for 4 or 5 minutes, or we can go a bit longer if we want to, because it's just the three of us right now. And then we'll work to rank each other's contributions to see who helped the most, the second most, third most, and so forth. And then if we can agree on those rankings, then everyone here will receive respect. And we will put that respect on chain, or with the ORDAO software that we have, we'll put it on chain, and people will earn more respect according to their level. If you get a higher level, you'll earn more respect. And then, well, you can see the game rules here, but that's kind of a high level overview. So for anyone who's not familiar with respect game, check out edenfractal.com/respect game. It's our core consensus process that our community is based around. And of course, anybody can feel free to share their screen, share the links and so forth throughout it too to help give people a better understanding of your work if you'd like to do so. And feel free to ask any questions. I see Eric was joining too, so I'll welcome Eric once he gets in. Really, welcome Eric. Thanks for joining. We're just at to start playing the respect game. So if anyone wants to go first, then feel free to jump in now, and then you can share what you've been doing. And then afterwards, also we'll have some time probably for some more discussions with Ryan about the base creators and the agency. Hey Eric, how you doing?
It's a good week.
Good to hear. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing what you've been up to. I'm a little bit, I don't know, I'm a little bit out of my element because I'm trying to figure out. We just started doing town hall before Eden Fractal. I'm trying to like figure out how to do these presentations so it's not too repetitive for the people who are here, but also it's interesting for people who are watching. So thank you all for your patience as I sometimes say the same thing in repetition. And if anyone has any feedback in the chat, then feel free to share. I'm working to improve this, and I'll think about it over the break. I see Tadas on camera too. So yeah, like I said, I think we're ready to play the respect game. So if anyone wants to go ahead and share what they've been doing to contribute to Eden Fractal's mission and vision, then the floor is now open.
I can go first.
Sounds good. Thanks, Tadas.
Yeah, so I started these 2 weeks after last Eden Fractal meeting collecting feedback for synchronous respect process for the first cycle of it that we used. And then I realized there was like people wanted to play it again these 2 weeks, and then I started facilitating, not changing much uh, for now. So the same structure as we used the previous time. Yeah, so I created like all of these messages in the chat, and then all the polls in snapshot that we used. Also, thanks to Dan, he also put out some useful messages providing like specific dates and times for when different stage transitions happen. Yeah, then I participated in the game itself. I created 3 topic proposals. I mean, 2 out of 3 topic proposals, and I created 5 out of 6 subtopic proposals. Yes, some of which we discussed here in the town hall just recently. Yeah, also coordinated with Dan before the meeting regarding some of the subtopics, like especially regarding meeting schedule. So we had a meeting to discuss that. Then I was also pretty active in the chat, gave advice to Sworthy regarding new fractal communities, fractal nouns. Yeah, realized what's a lot of some of my experience with fractals and fractal governance related ideas might be relevant to him. So I tried to share as best as I could my some of the ideas, and lessons I've learned. I shared, discussed respect trees a bit, higher order fractal evolution idea, which I haven't uh, discussed much, but it's basically the idea about how fractals could evolve, fractal organizations could evolve and renew itself through community, going through basically iterations of its software simply by deprecating a whole other deprecating the old software and basically holding a competition to in which they select the best next implementation. That's a rough idea, but I could maybe someday they post a lot more about it. Yeah, also gave some responses to Ryan about what he needs, what he might need for his project from us regarding wallets and so on. Yeah, and just I also did a lot of reading this week. Was reading about intense framework since Sworthy brought it up in relation to fractal nouns, and yeah, I'm seeing a connection to intent documents that we've been using in Optimism Fractal. It's I think it's not just that we use the same word intent. I think it's pretty much the same concept, except uh, intent documents that we used are basically higher level of intent. Basically, I think intent framework can be generalized uh, to include work not just automated by software, but also to include work implemented by people. Uh, anyway, that's a whole other topic. Uh, uh, yeah, that's all I've. That's all from me.
Sounds great. Thank you very much, Tadas. I see Ryan's unmuted.
I just want to say that's a lot of really great work, man. And like, I think everything uh, that we're bringing here is just like enabling folks like yourself who have been really thinking deeply about these different solutions and like what the different like looking around the different corners of like what organizations might be needing or wanting is like the number one thing that like you guys have been specializing in and thinking about for a long time. So as I come to the organization as like kind of a new member who has resources to provide and things to provide to the organization, I guess like what I have to contribute is um, really just like a lifetime of making connections and building communities and building opportunities for the I guess the network that this has become, because like it started as an agency back in 2012, and I've just been making connections this entire time. And at this point my Rolodex is ridiculous and I don't even know where it ends. And I've got some really good connections in high and low places all throughout the world. And I've turned it now into just an open network for collaboration and I guess experimentation, and with the goal of making the world a better place, which is like what that was my dream for my lifetime. So I'm just trying to through this life that I have here, I'm trying to do something that moves the world forward. And I'm just really happy to be able to kind of give opportunities to builders and creators and dreamers who also feel the same thing. And I guess I just really appreciate being able to connect through to the deep thinking that you guys are doing on the governance and the kind of the structures of our world. And yeah, I feel like it's just like I just appreciate being here, and I appreciate being able to kind of connect through with what we have. So I guess that's what I got.
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan. Well, we really appreciate you being here too, and really appreciate expressing the ways you can contribute to what we're doing and ways we can collaborate. And I see Tadas putting up the heart there. So yeah, I'm really excited to collaborate with you as well, and really appreciate that. I think so. I think you only spoke for a few minutes there. So if you did want to share anything else, Ryan, then feel free. Usually, for a bit of context, I know you're pretty new, and so I'm not sure if you're totally familiar and if I explained it well, but we also usually share like what we've done over the past couple of weeks specifically to help with Eden Fractal's mission vision. And so, for example, I know in the Telegram chat you shared these very thoughtful messages that we went over a little bit beforehand. So that'd be one example of a nice contribution that not only you felt like you could contribute and you had all these ways that you felt you could contribute, but you actually, took the time to write that message and propose about ways that Eden Fractal and Zao Fractal and Fractal Nouns can be supported, and you can offer the things that like the connections and various kinds of things that you can offer and support with Fractal ecosystem. And you actually wrote that down to share with us here too. So if you did want to share anything more, Ryan, in general, or if you wanted to recap any of those those contributions that you made, and anything else related to fractal governance or helping people make decisions and so forth, then feel free to go on for another couple minutes if you'd like.
Sure, yeah. So I guess specifically in the last few weeks, I've just been working on, and we've been working on at the agency, fully decentralizing and fully rolling out, and kind of opening up our any kind of permissions to a permissionless structure altogether. And I guess we've been meeting a lot of really great folks. I've already had met Zal from the ZAO a while ago. I've already kind of encountered a little bit of fractal nouns just in the wild, but I didn't really know what it was all about until we had our open Discord structure, and I think Zal was the one who came through, as well as Swarthy Hatter, coming through to just chat about what they're working on and how it might fit through. And it's just, just having that open discussion and framework for people to make suggestions, I guess, is kind of what I've contributed most recently, is just a specific kind of open framework for, a bunch of founders around the world to suggest different prototypes of what we could be building and experimenting with, and just kind of like being open to that and saying like, I take time out of what we're building because like it's really important that the structure and the organization of all this is that we allow it for the experimentation phase that it really needs. So I think that's like the critical thing is like as we're rolling out and scaling this whole thing, like what's going to be the best way to serve people and for people to serve the mission and the goal of the organization, and for it to not become I guess diverted, or for it to actually be the most effective that it can be as well. So I guess like specifically as well, like what I'm trying to do is just involve people on a very high level so they feel like they're all founders of this with us, because like really like that's what it's all about, is like if we're all aligned and we all feel like we're kind of founding this kind of new kind of society together, then we have all a shared incentive to work together on building it. So I guess specifically you know having the different organizations all around crypto that I'm identifying, or that we're identifying as like being potentially kind of world changing, having some kind of place in this new economy, some kind of place in the new internet, some kind of methodology that's making people their lives better, or like helping creators to create or builders to build. um, it's really just providing that framework and tools for more people to feel like they are founding this at the founding level with all of us, and then kind of also really just bringing more like wealth and resources and opportunities to those people, because they're the ones that need it the most. Like if people are dreaming and building, then they need more. They need more to dream and build with. They need more Lego bricks to build with, and that's really what we're trying to do, is connect together a bunch of Lego bricks that have been built by a bunch of people, and make it into something new that serves humanity in a way that never has been before. So yeah, I guess that's specifically as specific as it can get with such a ridiculously vague and massive thing that we're all doing here. But yeah, I really appreciate that. Thanks.
All right, sounds great. Thanks so much, Ryan. We really appreciate it too. Thanks for sharing more details about what you've been working on. That's excellent. I also want to welcome Andrea as well, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I believe it's the first time you joined us. So we're in the middle of a respect game here at Eden Fractal, where we each share contributions. If you'd like to say hello, then you're very welcome to, and you can introduce yourself. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the respect game, but I can also give you a quick recap too. Be curious how you learned about us. So yeah, if you'd like to just listen in, that's okay too. But you're very welcome if you want to unmute and say hello, and we'd love to hear from you. Well, if you do get the moment to unmute, then we'd love to hear from you. Oh, I see you unmuted there now. Did I say your name correctly, Andrea?
It's Bobby Andrea.
Oh,
I think. Yeah. I don't know if maybe he's having trouble with his microphone.
Okay, do you know you said Bobby, Andrea?
Yeah, he's from the Base Creators Africa chapters. He's one of our chapter presidents, and he's been helping our organization on a global scale as well ever since he's kind of one of the longest serving chapter presidents in the organization. Is kind of getting a lot of experience. So yeah, he's definitely a homie. Love to see you here, Bobby.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for letting us know, Ryan. And yeah, welcome, Bobby. We're happy for you to be here too. If you are able to get your microphone working, then we'd love to hear from you. Usually here at the Respect Game, I don't know if Ryan has told you or anybody else has told you, but usually, well, each time we play the Respect Game here, everybody usually speaks for at least a few minutes and shares what they've been up to. And you can feel free to introduce yourself and also I suppose, introduce your work with base creators and the chapter that you're working with, and also how you improve collective decision making. And if you're familiar with fractal decision making processes, that'd all be great to hear. So, if you are able to get unmute at any point, then feel free. For now, I suppose we'll proceed. Still, Eric and I have not yet gone and shared our respecting contributions. So, Ryan, if you want to pick somebody to go next, use just how we do it, where whoever goes previously will pick the next person to go. So if there's any quick last words you want to share, then feel free. And otherwise, if you want to pick me or Eric to go next, then we can then we can continue playing, and then we'll get to the ranking. And actually, by the way, Tadas did share the Telegram link in the chat, so I'll ask everybody to join the group in the Telegram or in the Zoom chat. There's a Telegram link where that's where we're reaching consensus in the Fractogram app. And yeah, so if Ryan, if you want to pick somebody to go next, then feel free. Or else if Eric, you want to just go next, then feel free to just go next, and I'm happy to go after you too.
Yeah, Eric, you should go next.
Yeah, this was a good week. So I kind of went the next level for people that don't me my job know me. My main mission is like you, Ryan, creating a difference and investigating things like Tadas is doing. Both great presentations, by the way. But my main focus is how we do this on a way that one brings in revenue to keep it going, although that's not the primary, but most importantly, in a way that can be adopted and implemented. Because I've made big change in huge organizations, like the whole U.S. Air Force, for example, and implementation is the tricky thing. How do you get people to adopt it in a way that keeps going and creates synergy and sustainability. And so I presented for the first time the business case for what I'm doing. Some people have heard my doctorate, but I connected the doctorate into a new product for release in one of our two products that my partner and I are releasing in 2026. Tied it into a whole framework and tied it into the belief that nonprofits should be able to sustainably and resiliently continue to deliver and grow their operations and services in all economic environments, mainly by a tight integration, a powerful integration of people strategy and technology and tools. So thank you to DOS for the technology and the tools that we're working on, and Dan for keeping this going. Um, so it went great. I don't know if you guys have heard of 1 million cups.
No, I've not heard of that.
So someone had this goal that 1 million people around the world were going to get together on a day and listen to people talk about their companies and have a cup of coffee. So the idea is to get 1 million people drinking coffee and hearing some entrepreneur pitch. So they have that all over. They have that where I'm from in San Diego. So I presented my business proposal for 1 million cups, and it's a chance to do two things: get feedback and to ask people for help. And so I I did this. I've actually encapsulated there's uh, in a consulting organization I'm part of for 10 years, we've developed a methodology for organizational change where most people ask us to fix their operations. We actually focus on people, then the strategy, uses people to create a strategy, then create the structure, then create the operations. So I've tied a product into each one of those, and Fractal fits in part of that. But under the organizational culture, I encapsulated the doctoral presentation I'm doing, called that the Nonprofits Catalyst Engine. So I gave it a name for now and launched it with three other products and show how they integrated, and then made the request for more volunteers. And I had four more volunteers for my doctoral sign up. For those that don't know, I need to get about 100 volunteers to spend an hour a week, like we're doing here, for 8 weeks. And some people here have already signed up to help and do that. So got more volunteers, and now I'm doing weekly orientation for the new volunteers. So I'll be doing one of those tomorrow. If you're already on my list, like Dan, you should get an email probably in the next hour. Go out.
How many do you need? How many more do you need?
About 60.
Okay, let's connect. I'll help.
Oh, great. I'll put my contact information in the chat.
Yeah, we've got a lot of folks in the chapters organization that would, I'm sure, be happy to volunteer to learn and to grow.
Yeah, and it's tied directly into organizations in a way they can adopt. It's basically the fast, free, and easy way for nonprofits to recruit, engage, retain even more volunteers with almost no volunteer management overhead, in a way that connects them with more funding, more and better services, and lower operating costs.
Very cool. Well, I see Ryan put up the heart there. I'd love to see that collaboration too, and appreciate Ryan offering to help with Eric's research. Really excited about all the research you're doing, Eric, and thanks for sharing all your updates about your.
Yeah, I pitched for 10 minutes. I got questions for 20 minutes, and then people just kept talking to me for an hour after that, nonstop, until I had to go. So it was a good meeting.
Nice. Glad to hear. I think you spoke for just about 4 or 5 minutes. If there's anything else you wanted to share, then feel free to throw anything quick in there, or else, if not, then I'm ready to go as well now too. Anything else quick, or should I go ahead, Eric?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. And yeah, see, Eric just shared his contact information in the chat there. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how Eric's work will grow and evolve, and the collaborations that may emerge there. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Once again, I don't know if everybody joined that Telegram group, but if you haven't yet joined the Telegram group, then please do so. I think only me and Tadas are there right now, and that's where we can reach consensus on the rankings after I speak. If you did, yeah, Andrea, if you did want to share anything more in the chat, then feel free. I appreciate you sharing a message chat there. But I guess I don't know, because Andrea is here, so we could rank Andrea or Bobby rather. So yes, we could rank Bobby if Bobby wants to share some contributions, or we could just perhaps include Zal and Herbesto in the rankings too, because we heard from them and they joined the previous event. So we can decide the best way to do that, I suppose, um, as I go or after I go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share what I've been doing to contribute to the Eden Fractal's mission and vision for the past couple weeks. If you're not familiar with me, I'm Dan Singjoy, and you can learn more about my work at dansingjoy.com, founder of Eden Fractal and Optimism Fractal and Optimistics and Eden Creators, which support the fractal ecosystem. And I'm working full time to support the fractals and build a better world on Ethereum and so forth. So you can learn more about that work over there. I collaborated with my team to work on this promotion, and so help to spread awareness and invite people to the Eden Fractal event. And then I also supported Tadas as well in the organization facilitation of the Respect Trees event, um, or Respect Trees game rather, for the Eden Town Hall event. So I put out some messages there, providing some feedback, and then like kind of organized list of topics and so forth, to help facilitate that and motivate that to happen again this week, because I think it's a really great game. I also hosted the season 6 finale of Optimism Fractal. This was the 72nd event and collaborated to put out these promotions here. And then I hosted it, and nobody joined. It was the first time that nobody joined in 2 years that we've had a Optimism Fractal event, and the first time in like 4 years. So I wound up just recording a video and then trying like a solo respect game where I ranked a few people. So I'm going to share more details with that soon. But I tried out this new kind of respect game basically, and we shared this. And then in addition, I kind of combined it into a town hall and put out some messages there, kind of just to close out the season and announced that on the Optimism Governance Forum and some other places. And then Tadas had shared with me some of the topics he was thinking about that, and that inspired me to create this Eden Fractal 2026 Eden Fractal strategy documents. It includes a 2025 Fractal Ecosystem retrospective. I have this is like maybe third draft or fourth draft, so I got to improve it more, but it kind of goes over some of the major achievements that we've had and good things that have gone on in the Fractal ecosystem, like the revival of Eden Fractal Block 2, the maturation of the ORDAO software, the applications that have been created, community ecosystem growth, and so forth. So I'm working on that. It's not done yet. Same with this. I kind of reflected on, I watched some of our videos from this year last time, looked at the strategy that we were thinking about and things we were discussing. We had produced like 5 documents and 3 videos about that. So I reviewed some of that and then worked on kind of just trying to synthesize some of the lessons and things that we can still use from our strategy that we didn't achieve this year. I started drafting a proposal to the Optimism Fractal community to pause Optimism Fractal after thinking about it and hearing Tadas's message that we discussed at the Eden Town Hall, explaining why and how this would work and so forth. So I will also follow up on this too. I also started writing an Eden Fractal 2026 strategy document, which isn't here for whatever reason. I also started writing like a 3 year or like an Epoch 3 5 year vision document just to give a bit more color to the vision and how I see it happening with millions of communities benefiting from respect games and fractal democracy. So, um, and this happening in in-person events and through artists communities and local communities and governments and so forth and much more there. So a lot of kind of draft articles that I started working on that I'll share in more detail soon. Also, article about the value of the optimism fractal to the fractal ecosystem in light of the decision that we're probably going to make to pause optimism fractal. Wanted to share some reasons why it's important to come back. And then I started to put together a calendar of dates for the fractal ecosystem in 2026 as a potential first start. And then I also started some other things here. I've been working on the nonprofit in the background and sharing some other ideas too that I'll share more in the future. Tadas had given me, I discussed this idea of service or respect with Tadas, and then I thought a lot about how a business in the Fractal ecosystem could use a voucher system to give free respect game service and other kinds of services to participants in Fractals and came up with an idea or this was kind of a system where businesses can offer vouchers and stuff like that to people who have earned respect and who vote for that to kind of align businesses with fractal communities. And then I worked a lot on this gardens plan that I've been working on. I talked about it with Das actually for a couple hours yesterday. It's envisioned as a regenerative liquidity and capital allocation system that directs on-chain resources towards communities creating public goods that's meant to work with fractal governance and Eden Fractal and so forth. So I've been thinking a lot about that. In addition, I also shared a quick response to Ryan regarding the agency things that he's been proposing and thought about that a lot, and also shared a more detailed response to Timothy Swarthy Hatter about things he's doing with Fractal Nouns and the bad community. So those were, I think, the main contributions that I delivered this week for Eden Fractal. Um, yeah, I think that's it that I can share. A part of me also wants to share too, and maybe now's a good time to just to say it publicly, because I shared it on the Optimism Fractal event last week. But one of the things I've been working on a lot in the background is so Rosmari and I are getting married. For some people, I see Eric smiling because Eric and a few other people know about it. But I haven't yet shared it public on Eden Fractal. So that's been also a thing that we actually met at Eden Fractal almost 3 years ago, and I've been waiting for the right time to find out. Maybe I'll announce it after we come back from the break because we're actually getting married over the break. Thanks, guys, for the hearts. But that's also been something that I suppose it's a roundabout contribution to the Fractal ecosystem in a way because we've actually been organizing a potential respect game at the wedding too to try it out. So that's something we've been collaborating on a bit here. But yeah, just wanted to mention that as well. So with that is having been said. We can probably go ahead and start ranking our contributions. Once again, Bobby, if you are able to share anything, then feel free. But otherwise, we'll, I guess, go ahead and if I think we're still missing Ryan. So, oh no, we have Ryan actually. So, yeah, if everybody can please share their address into their base address, their Ethereum address, their EVM account in the Telegram group as a response to Sauce's message, then we can start ranking each contributions. And I suppose unless Bobby wants to share anything, then we'll just also include Zal and Harvesto in the rankings as well, if that sounds good.
I I don't know if we should do that
Okay. Yeah, I guess
because
we won't do
yeah,
it.
because yeah, we can't vote, and I don't know how to create a poll in that case. And
Okay.
I don't. In the past, we used that as a rule that people have to participate in order to get respect.
Yeah, well, I think the one of the things we came up with that you suggested a while ago was that if this group wanted to like come to consensus about rewarding or awarding respect to people who were there but weren't there for the whole meeting or were there for part of it or something like that, then we could. But I'm okay with just not dealing with that right now and just doing a respecting between the four of us as well. That's fine by me. And we can give Zal and Harvester lots of respect in the future and future games when they're able to make it.
Yeah, let's play respect game, and decisions like this could be done separately.
Okay, sounds good. So. I see, Ryan, you shared your EVM account in the chat, and I appreciate that, but it does need to be, in order for this Fractogram Telegram client to work, it needs to be
Actually,
as a reply to this message, or is that not
actually,
true to
it
us?
does not matter now because I will create poll manually right now because Fractalgram does not work.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, never mind that. The automated version has it where you'd have to do it as a reply, but how come you have to create it manually? Is there some issue with Telegram or Fractogram right now?
Yes, somehow it does not load
Okay.
properly.
Okay, so Tadas will just create it manually, and in the end, after we reach consensus, then he'll, I suppose, or one of us will paste the link in there, which will provide the pre-filled results to post the consensus results to ORDAO and have the respect distributed as a result. So now, oh, I see. Bobby said he came in late, so could I please have a short brief, please? He was caught up with programming, just left University of Zambia, collecting a few content. Okay, cool. Well, hope you enjoyed the programming and the learning and so forth. And yeah, the short brief, if you're not familiar with Eden Fractal, we just shared our contributions to Eden Fractal's vision and mission about improving collective decision making. And now what we'll be doing here is we'll be ranking each other's contributions based on what we think was the most helpful. And then after we rank what was the most helpful, we'll rank what was the second most helpful and third most helpful and fourth most helpful and so forth. So that's what we do here at Eden Fractal. We've been doing for the past 3+ years since we started here. And every other week, well, starting when we come back from the break on the 15th of January, then we'll continue doing this where we'll meet and play these respect games and then rank each other's contributions. So hopefully that's a good overview. You can check out edenfractal.com as well to learn more. And yeah, happy to answer more questions later if you want to share them in the chat. And yeah, so for now, for everybody, we're ranking level 6. So based upon what everybody shared, sounds great. You're very welcome, Bobby, and looking forward to hearing more of your thoughts. So based on everything that everybody shared, please go ahead and rank what you think, who you think did the most helpful contributions for Eden Fractal, um, based upon what you heard. Okay, and it looks like we have one vote for Ryan, one vote for myself, and 2 votes for Tadas. If any would like to advocate either way, then feel free. I'm happy to uh, Bobby said, to be honest, if Ryan is on the list, he'd say Ryan. I voted for Ryan as well because I really appreciate what Ryan has been doing, both the offer to help Eric right there, and I do believe he's doing great work with the chapters. And it was great hearing his presentation or kind of like an introduction during the town hall. But I was also split because I wanted to vote for Tadas partially too, because I think that Tadas did really, really important work with the respect trees game. Both, I think he hasn't gotten enough respect for that yet because that I think it's an excellent game. I really appreciate his feedback he gave about the gardens to me yesterday, and we had some great discussions. And he really had a very big leadership role in the Fractal ecosystem by having that proposal to potentially pause Optimism Fractal and have more time. So I think with that in mind, I'm happy to vote for Tadas so that Tadas will be level 6 for this week. And yeah, really appreciate all those contributions that you made, Tadas.
I would vote for Dan, but it's my rule is like don't value the contributions until they are published. So Dan is developing a lot of great ideas, but I'm waiting for it to be published.
Sounds good. Well, thanks, Tadas. I appreciate that. You already know some of them, but yeah, not fully published yet. I'm glad to hear, Bobby, that you've learned and experienced so much from all the chapters. So really excited to learn more about your work. So we've now reached consensus then on Tadas at level 6. So Tadas will get the most respect. He'll get 55 respect for this week. And now we're going to rank level 5 to see who helped the Fractal ecosystem the second most based upon the contributions.
Okay, it seems that Ryan gets level 5.
Yep. Okay, we have consensus for Ryan on level 5. And now we're ranking level 4. So the options are between me and Eric. So we'll share who do you think did the third most help to Eden Fractal based upon it, whatever you shared.
Sorry, I just reconnected. Were you just talking to me?
We just said that you had received level 5, so you get the second most respect for this week. I don't know if you heard that part. And then we said that we're ranking level 4 to determine who helped the third most this week or this past 2 weeks.
Okay, great.
Okay, and it looks like there's 2 votes for me and 2 votes for Eric, so we do not yet have consensus. If Eric would like to switch his vote to himself, or I would like to switch my vote to myself, then we could have consensus. But if anyone wants to try to advocate for either way or switch their vote, then they can, so we can reach consensus. But we need to reach 3/4 consensus right now in order to have a complete respect game. So. Would anybody like to change their vote or share why they voted for who they voted for?
I voted for Dan, I think just because I know a lot more about Dan so far, but I also could be swayed for Eric as well, I think. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you for the vote, Ryan. I appreciate it. I voted for Eric. I have to be honest, I got distracted. Something happened, and so I didn't hear everything that Eric said, but I know Eric is just doing incredible work all the time. And so I appreciate that and always appreciate him joining. I know I did a lot too. So I could be swayed to vote for myself too. But I appreciate Eric a lot, so that's why I voted for Eric in general. And I know that the stuff that I did here, I want to listen again to the recording for sure. But from what I understood, it sounded like some great progress.
Yeah, I think I'll change my vote to Eric for this one if I can. I don't know how to, though.
You can do so by, if you're on a computer, then right-clicking and clicking retract vote, or you can hold down on, if you're on a phone, then you can hold down with your finger and hit retract vote.
I'm trying to hold down with my finger. It's not really doing anything, though.
Are you holding down on the message itself where it says like level 4 and you see the poll?
Yeah.
It should be like a pretty basic Telegram function, like whenever you hold down on a message and then you can reply to it or you can forward or something like that. It should be in that same
Yeah,
area.
it just says reply or forward, though. I'm not sure how to change it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's strange. Josh, do you have any idea why that's happening?
What Telegram client on what device?
Telegram app on Android?
Hmm. No retract vote.
Yeah, I'm like long pressing it, like holding it down. It gives me the ability to reply or to forward, but there's no like other option.
Oh, now I checked on my phone. They changed it. Now I don't see it as well. Damn, I would say this is a regression.
They're breaking Fractogram on us.
It works. Yeah, it works on the desktop.
Okay.
I will create a new poll. Or, oh, maybe. Wait,
Oh, it looks like somebody switched their vote. Maybe Eric switched to himself, or no? I see Ryan was able to do it now.
Yeah, I was able to switch.
Okay.
how?
Did you have to throw your phone on the ground or something and kick it or
No,
something?
I was able to do it on desktop.
Okay, there you
Oh,
go. That's probably a safer bet than the throwing on the ground. Okay, cool. Well, glad to hear that worked. And I guess in the future, I know Tadas was talking about how we could build different apps, but yeah, it would be good at some point to get that Telegram working again, or figuring out something so that we're able to once again get our retract vote feature available. Um,
Yo, I'd like to connect with that. I was actually just working on a Telegram client of our own to do some custom functions on Telegram, and we can look into how to fix whatever is going on there.
And
Sounds great.
I would like to show you the presentation I gave to 1 Million Cups sometime. It's only 10 minutes, so we can zoom and do that. I think you'll like it.
Okay.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I'd love that.
Is that something you're talking specifically to Ryan, Eric, or are you
I
talking
was
to all of
talking
us
to
or any of
you,
us
Dan, but
living?
Ryan too. Yeah.
Okay, well, we could potentially do it after the call too. So right now we have to elect a delegate, and then
Yeah,
I don't know how much time everybody
I
has
have
now.
a
Okay, you have
I'm booked
something?
from 10 to 11:30, so I'm free from 12 to 3 Pacific time.
Okay, let's come back to that and let's first rank the delegate. So yeah, I don't know if anybody has those specific times. I don't know the math on that, so I don't know if that means you have to leave in a minute. It might. I guess it does. But
It
first,
does, yeah.
okay, let's try to rank a delegate real quick then. So, as we do here at Eden Fractal, we follow the Eden Fractal Plus consensus process, where we elect a delegate to help make decisions for the community after each respect game. So, Eric, before you go, if you could maybe share who you think should be a delegate, and also I'm wondering. Who are the delegates? Josh, do you have the spreadsheet of the delegates available to you right now?
yes.
Okay.
So, Worthy, you, and me.
Okay. And do you know the timing on who was selected when? Oh,
Uh,
I see
yeah,
Josh
I
chatting.
was selected latest. So, mine will expire next on the next event.
Okay.
But I will still be a delegate for the next town hall.
Okay, sounds good. And then I was elected after that, so I'll be a delegate for another two town halls, I guess. And then Swarthy is a delegate that was elected last time. So, um, I suppose it might be helpful if I just provide a little more context too for anyone who's not familiar. So at each event, after playing the respect game, we elect a delegate. We have an article at this at edenfractal.com/plus. This is our legislative consensus process. It plays a role alongside ORDAO. ORDAO is like an executive branch, and Eden plus Fractal Council is a legislative branch that basically the way it works is we come to these Eden Town Hall decision or these Eden Town Hall events before Eden Fractal events, and we have an hour long to discuss things. And during that time, we can approve proposals on behalf of the Eden Fractal community. Um, so basically, there's like 1 hour to approve proposals, so people can make proposals, and then the counselors who are elected during this Eden Fractal Respect game or right after the Eden Fractal Respect game form um, form well, the counselors who are elected during this, or delegates who are elected during this process after the respect game, form councils. And then the counselors who are elected during the past four Eden Fractal events will each form like a meta council kind of, and proposals can be approved by 3 out of 4 councils approving a proposal. So, for example, over the past couple months, we approved a proposal to change the time of Eden Town Hall events from happening after Eden Fractal Respect games to happening before Eden Fractal Respect games. We also approved a proposal recently to start Eden Fractal Season 12 on January 15th when we're returning for winter break. If there's other kinds of rules we want to change or things that are relevant to the community, then we can make a proposal and then approve it during Eden Town Hall. And so for anybody who would like to be a delegate, we ask that you follow along in the Eden Fractal chat so you're aware of any proposals that are being discussed or being proposed, and then join the Eden Town Hall events for the next 4 events. This will be starting in the new year as well. So the actual time that it happened, that this I suppose period of service begins, would be on January 15th, and then the event that would probably happen, we don't know if it's going to be bi-weekly or weekly yet, because that's something we have to approve actually when we come back on January 15th, what will be the cadence of Eden Fractal events. So either this counselor will serve for 8 weeks over the course of 4 bi-weekly events, or 4 weeks over the course of 4 events. And this can be an opportunity to help guide the Fractal ecosystem, help guide and lead the Eden Fractal community. You can see some of the benefits and the responsibilities and so forth, but I kind of just gave an overview of it. There's some other benefits and so forth here. But yeah, basically we ask that people will just do their best at being here for the community and helping to make decisions in the best interest of the community. So I suppose we could start by asking who would like to be a delegate. I'd be happy to be a delegate if the community would like. I'm already a delegate right now, so if any of you new would like to be a delegate who is not yet a delegate, then we'd be happy to hear. If Eric or Ryan would like to be a delegate, or Tadas would like to be a delegate again, I suppose first we can start by saying who would like to be a delegate.
Yeah, I'd love to be a delegate. Yeah, I'll probably be here pretty much every week now from now on, so I'd be happy to.
Okay. In that case, that's an argument to vote for Ryan since he's not currently delegate.
Okay, sounds good. Did you have any questions, Ryan, or did that all make sense to you about what the position kind of entails?
I'll probably want to review it after all this, just so that I wasn't fully paying attention, but I'm just volunteering myself anyway.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, just note that we will be taking a break now, and we will come back on when January
15th.
15th.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it would be, as a delegate, it would be very much preferable if you would be there.
I'll be there, yeah. Looking forward to it. We got a lot of fun stuff happening starting January that we'll be able to participate in together. We're going to be bringing 1 billion people on chain starting January, and working together with Base and Coinbase on that. So it's going to be really fun.
All right, sounds great. Then that's the kind of campaign that I can get behind. So I'm happy to vote for Ryan in that case. And Brian, I did just share that website that's coming on the screen right now, edenfractal.com/plus. So that website has the details about how this process works, has a little bit about fractal democracy. It has this kind of basic process here about how it works, and then more details there. So it's pretty long and detailed. You don't need to read it all. But if there's anything that you're confused about, then this can provide a good resource. Also did an interview with Tadas about it a while ago when he actually first released it. So, and feel free as well if you have any questions about it to reach out to me or reach out in the Eden Fractal Telegram chat too.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been browsing, and now thanks for the resource. Appreciate it, guys.
You're very welcome. And thank you for volunteering to become a Eden Fractal delegate. And it looks like, well, so we don't yet have consensus yet. If you want to vote for yourself, Ryan, then we'll have consensus, and then you will officially be a delegate. And I'll be looking forward to serving on the council with you. And I see Bobby also said that Bobby also votes for Ryan too. Okay, cool. We have consensus on Ryan being a delegate for the upcoming periods of Eden Fractal. And now all we need to do here is, I suppose probably Tadas will do this. I think he's probably working on it right now, is in the Telegram chat, Tadas just shared a link to submit breakout room results. So I'll pull this up on the screen. This is using the Eden ORDAO app, the Eden Fractal ORDAO app. It's at eden.fraps.xyz. And the link that he shared in the chat has this pre-built form for our event, the rankings of who received level 6, level 5, level 4, and so forth. So it's not necessary because due to the way that ORDAO works, basically, if just one community member with enough respect votes to approve this proposal, and others in the community don't vote to veto the proposal, and it meets all the thresholds of ORDAO, then it will be approved. But it is appreciated for everybody to post this on chain to provide further affirmation of the consensus results and kind of like a test basically to the fact that the consensus results were as they were. So you can log into the app with like MetaMask or any other wallet, and then you can push it on chain um, to show your support for this on chain.
So, Bobby, if you're watching, this is something that we might be using for our chapters to kind of like after we finish a session of organizing and figuring stuff out, that we'd go through and award points for contribution at the end of the meeting. So, this is what we're kind of thinking about using here.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Ryan, and your interest in implementing this. This is the ORDAO app for anybody who's watching and would like to learn more. I have an article about ORDAO. Maybe I'll share these in the chat too, so Bobby can check it out if you'd like to. Optimistic.io/ORDAO is an article that I put together about this ORDAO app where we have a video about how it works that explains some of the benefits, and then there's more details in the article. And then Tadas has done a great job. Well, there's like 20 videos where you can learn about this too if you're really interested. And then Tadas also has a GitHub repository where he explains exactly how this process works. For some reason, GitHub's not loading for me correctly, but normally that link should work, and that explains exactly how the process works with all the variables and so forth to allow optimistic, respect-based governance. And the app that we're on right now is eden.fraps.xyz. And there's a couple different versions of this app too, depending on what community has been is operating it. For some reason, my screen right now, every once in a while I have this issue that I've been trying to troubleshoot with Tadas where it's saying something went wrong, and oh yeah, maybe this page, maybe Tadas hasn't fixed this issue yet. I know we talked about that, but my page is becoming unresponsive. So
No, this is a different issue. Have you tried to log out?
I have not yet tried to log out. Should I? Right now, it's giving me the thing where I'm clicking on my account number in the top left, or I'm clicking anywhere else, but it's not letting me click anything. So I guess I could try refreshing. But yeah, currently I'm having an issue with the app.
I thought this was only happening when you were using. Did you log in through your phone with scanning
Yeah.
QR code?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when it happens.
Okay. So if I were to log in with
Then it's the same bug that we talked about.
okay. Okay. Well, yeah. So the app should work totally fine and totally smoothly if you log in directly with um a wallet or with Privy. As long as you don't use your phone and the QR code, and it works well.
Yeah,
But
you
in my
can
situation,
log
I'm
in.
really using.
It should work with the phone, but you have to go through the web page through the phone, and yeah, it doesn't work if you go through the desktop and log in through the mobile wallet.
Right.
I
And
mean,
so,
currently there is a bug that prevents that.
okay.
But
Well, yeah, thanks for clarifying that, and thanks for your work on this app. I think Toss already put a issue in the GitHub. So at some point, I imagine that issue will be fixed. And in the meantime, it's functional for most use cases. And you can see the proposal. So Tadas just created a proposal using the ORDAO app to elect Ryan as the delegate. And right now, this has 1,854 yes respect votes. It looks like Tadas voted yes for this. And it needs to meet the threshold over the course of the two periods that it has at least 66.6% of the votes. So as long as it doesn't receive no votes, which I don't imagine it will, then Ryan will officially be, well, he's already officially elected delegate, but there'll just be on-chain proof of it once that gets approved. And then similarly, there will, I guess, soon be the respect game proposal for those respect game results. And then I believe it takes 2 weeks for the periods for the voting and veto period to go through. And then once it happens, then everybody will receive the respect for participating in today's event. So that concludes our respect game up, and you can now see the proposal up here too. So you'll see I think this is Tadas will get 55 respect, and um, Ryan will get 34, Eric will get 21, I'll get 13. So, and you can see how it works there. Um, all right, so we're 12 minutes past the top of the hour, so we've been going a bit long. I appreciate everybody's patience and note that we didn't mess up with any schedule. We could wrap it up. I know there's some interest in continuing discussion too. And Ryan, we didn't get a chance to discuss the agency and fractal collaborations in more detail, at least so far. We could continue it a little bit if there's anything that would be helpful. I know we've been on a long call, so it might just be best to wrap it up now and then schedule another time. But if Ryan, you would like to talk about any of this now, then I'd be happy to. We could just um, extend Eden Fractal a little bit, or we could do it off recording too if you prefer. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm free for the next like 45 minutes, so I would like to just give the floor to anybody else who has a quick thing to say before they have to hop, and I'll be here.
Okay, sounds good. I see that Tadas wrote he's going. Thanks for the meeting and have a great day. So Chad and best wishes to Tadas. Hope he enjoys the break. And then yeah, Eric or Bobby, if there's anything you want to share, then feel free. I guess I could also maybe just do you think Ryan would be useful? It might be useful for the Fractal communities and people who are following us here at Eden Fractal if we record our discussion, if we have if we just maybe extend our call and we keep it on
Sure.
recording. Okay, so then
Yeah, that
maybe
makes sense.
okay, cool. So yeah, I suppose I'll save my little outro and wrap up for the end of it, and I'm happy to stick around for longer too, and can stick around to the top of the hour or so to discuss the agency and fractal fractal collaborations in more detail as well. I see Bobby said yes, please. Maybe even use the limitless with Ryan to transcribe. I'm not sure what the limitless is. Maybe you could explain that in more detail. But yeah, Bobby or Eric, if you had any thoughts, then feel free to jump in at any point. I know that Eric, you said you have to go too at some point. So whenever that happens, I hope you have a great day and I hope you enjoy your winter break too. Really appreciate you being here with us. And for everyone who's been here watching with us, then well, we really hope that you enjoy your winter break too. I'm going to have a discussion here with Ryan. We're going to talk about some really interesting stuff with regards to the agency and fractals. And yeah, everybody's welcome to jump in the conversation. So I don't know, Ryan, if there's anything else you wanted to share, because I know we were pretty pressed for time before at the end of the Eden Town Hall. But is there anything else you want to share, or do you prefer just to kind of like if I maybe share some questions first?
We can pretty much just get into the questions, and yeah, the limitless pin is something that we in the organization here, we're buying these pins called Limitless.ai. It's a website, and it's like this little magnetic badge that you can wear, that it's like a microphone, storage device, Bluetooth device that connects to your phone, and it helps you just to track everything throughout the day really easily. So like it's like a little personal assistant, like secretary. You can like, it'll transcribe your meetings. You can ask it questions throughout the day of like what you know, maybe forgetting. And so yeah, like I personally would not be able to really function as much as I do without something that just helps me to keep track of everything. So that's, if you want, I can actually just switch it on right now and have a transcript of this if that's helpful.
That's limitless.ai, did you say?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you'd like to, I suppose you can. All these calls are public anyway, so you can feel free to do so. If it's also useful too, Zoom has this AI companion feature. I could turn it on. I've experimented with it a few times and basically makes it so that there's a little chat next to Zoom where you can like ask for little like recaps and stuff like that. So I could also turn that on addition if it would be useful. And then of
Oh,
course
nice.
all of the after we edit it, just minor edits just to fix the frame and stuff, then all this we publish on YouTube as well, so others can find the video and transcripts from there as well too.
Yeah, that's great. Like I feel like these AI tools, like the more that they're kind of serving humanity and not like surveilling us, is like the better option. Like using for empowerment, of human goals is the best way that we can use AI, in my opinion.
I agree. AI is incredibly powerful, and when we put it in the right direction, it can do amazing things for humanity. I've been enjoying learning about Gemini 3, for example. I know I see Zal just joined back. I know he's familiar with that. Zal said, GM said I missed this week. Me too, Zal, but I'm glad you made it back. It was great speaking with you during the town hall, and we're we're actually planning to stick around with Ryan and Bobby to talk about the agency in more detail now, and a good chance we'll be here for
Well,
another 40
perfect
minutes or
timing
so.
then for me, I guess.
Yeah,
Yo, what's
we're
up,
extending
Zal?
it.
Amazing. I'm gonna listen in and just vibe out with y'all.
Okay, sounds good. Well, feel free to jump in whenever if you like. And yeah, looking forward to hearing Ryan's thoughts here. We were talking about the AI stuff, so I guess feel free to turn on the Limitless thing if you want, and I'll also turn the AI companion because I think you were supported with that. And then if you want, I can get into some questions. If you're unmuted, Ryan, is there anything else you want to share first?
No, yeah, let's get into the questions.
Okay, sounds good. So I suppose real quick before the questions, I'll just for anybody who's watching who didn't watch the town hall, I'll once again encourage people to watch the Eden Town Hall. That'll be on the Eden Creators YouTube channel that we just had about an hour ago or so, because that's where Ryan gave an introduction for about 15 minutes or so about himself and also about um, the project he's working on. He's working with Base Creators, which you can see at basecreators.xyz, a global network of creators, builders, and entrepreneurs helping each other succeed through referrals and collaboration with chapters around the world. For example, Bobby is participating, I think maybe leading in some way. I don't know the exact relationship, but basically Bobby is part of a local chapter. And then there's local chapters around North America, Europe, Asia, Latin America, Middle East, Africa, and there's ways to get started growing a network today, and you can explore chapters. And Zal had actually introduced me first to Ryan's work when Zal had joined. I believe that was the Base Creators Discord call, if I'm not mistaken. Zal had showed me a Twitch clip of it from a month ago or so. So it's been really interesting for me to learn about Base Creators over the past month, although there's a lot more that I'm curious about and haven't yet fully understood. And this is Ryan has expressed some interest in implementing fractal democracy and helping to grow fractals, which I greatly appreciate. And then also we're building on Base too with Eden Fractal, so there's a huge amount of synergy here, and I'm a huge fan of what Base is doing in general. So just wanted to provide some initial context there. I see Ryan's unmuted, so Ryan, if you want to jump in now or anytime, then feel free. And if you want, I can continue give a bit more introduction to set the stage for the agency as well.
Sure, yeah. So I just wanted to just say too, shout out to Bobby Andrea. Like he is the chapter president of the Base Creators Southern region, and that's the regional chapter for the entire southern region of Africa. And that's quite a large area to cover. But he and his chapter have been absolutely killing it and getting out there and just making waves and just making connections at universities, at schools, at places around. So yeah, definitely. I think the University of Zambia is one of them that he's been connecting to a lot. I think the University of Lusaka as well. I think I'm trying to remember them. Like there's so much going on around the world. I'm trying to remember it all, but it's really exciting to see that giving the tools and the templates for the reach outs and just giving them kind of the resources that they need and just really just letting them take on the mission and the vision of the organization of just helping people and just giving them the ability to help people is just it's so empowering just to see things happening, because I'll be just completely swamped throughout my day, working on client work or whatever it is for the agency to keep things afloat around here, because really the agency is the way that we just make connections, but we also kind of have revenue injection into everything that we're doing. So we've got clients that are willing to pay us upwards of $50,000 for 4 weeks of work for whatever products that we're able to sell or whatever kind of success that we're able to bring to them throughout our network or on online engagement. We've had ETH collection, NFT collections sell out for 220 ETH in the last month or two that we did for partners, and just turning that into a story of success that we're able to do for other brands then enables us to turn that revenue inwards on all of the internal development and everything that we're doing across the network. And I feel like it's just so interesting that like the agency model can serve that purpose. Like I never imagined that like an ad agency or like a branding agency would also be potentially like a DAO of DAOs that can actually help heal the world. Like it's like you never kind of put I never put that together when I was at school. You know what I mean? I never thought like, oh, I'm going to school to change the world. No, I was going to school for animation and design and art and graphics because I was a very creative person as a young kid, and I really loved to paint and to be part of like to play video games and to I love music, and I started programming when I was like 13 or 14 years old, and I actually uh, got arrested when I made a virus that infected my whole high school as a senior prank. So that was fun. And but I didn't program a lot from there on. I was more like into the art and the design of it all. So I went to an art college. I went to the University of Rochester Institute of Technology in Rochester, New York to start out with. I studied new media design and imaging. And then I went to Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida, where I studied a similar degree. It was digital arts and design. So it's like really both of them were about just the multi-platform, multimodal kind of creative learning of like really the whole Adobe Creative Suite, like all the different apps like Vector, like Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, After Effects. Pretty much the whole Adobe Creative Suite was like Adobe was probably very happy to have their suite focused on as the entire coursework, and now it really kind of is coming full circle because I'm like we're kind of creating an Adobe Creative Suite of our own. Like we're actually like Fractal is part of the new Adobe Creative Suite in my eyes. Like all of these apps, all these developers, all these tools and builders and things that we're actually creating here together like today, this moment. Like I do feel like this is the new Adobe Creative Suite of the future, of where students are going to be given this kind of suite of applications and tools, and they're going to be given the learning of how to use it in the real world, and like they're going to be given case studies and like examples of how businesses and how organizations and charities and whatever it may be are using these. And so I just feel like it's just all put together in such a beautiful way. You know what I mean? Like all of what we've been building is just one big puzzle that is ready to be put together into the new economy, and just like it needed to happen. It was about to happen. It needed to happen, and so I'm just glad that whatever we can do to help make it happen, and just like really just be the kind of the community movement and the cultural movement that is just powering this forward as it just was meant to be. You know what I mean? It was always going to happen. So we're just kind of like pushing that forward as much as we can around the world, and just saying like, yeah, we're just banding together and making this happen as a people, because it's better for everyone. It's better for the builders, better for the workers, the parents, the teachers, the students, just like everybody in the world who has a creative drive, or something. They want to build something, or they want to organize people, or they want to work, or they want to live, or they want to play. I honestly, just every aspect of life is affected by the things that that blockchain technology and permissionless, transparent, collaborative Web3 technology is all about. You know what I mean? It's really just, that's why Web3 is called Web3 and not Web2. It's because it's an upgrade of what the network between us as humans can be. It's not just about the internet technology. It's also about how do we become a global village again after so many years of like that village being way too large to manage and understand and organize. And people, the chaos of the world has gotten too much to manage for many people. So we've kind of retreated into our bubbles of these Web2 spheres of our cozy little spaces that that Dan from Parcaster loves to talk about. But yeah, like I absolutely think that that's kind of where things have been headed this whole time. So it's just a matter of kind of opening things back up and a framework that is like accepted by all. You know what I mean? So that's why I think fractal governance in particular is really the only way we're ever going to establish like any kind of consensus across the nations of how are we going to move forward. You know what I mean? Is like we're going to have all the nations and all the peoples and all the cultures and all the languages be participating in what's next. So yeah.
Here, here. Thank you very much, Ryan, for sharing the introduction to and more detailed context and backstory about how you got to where you are now. So that's great to hear, and also the vision about making the world a better place with Base, with Ethereum, with fractal governance, helping people cooperate better and govern better. I love to hear it, and so that was all amazing to hear. I saw there's some messages also the lore of Ryan, and he said, "Oh my God, I'm loving this," and he said you're cooking and ditto everything. He said, "Sorry for swearing, just excited." He might have sweared a little bit, and then Bobby had shared Ryan the Great in there too. So yeah, really appreciate you sharing and really impressed and excited about what you built here with creators on base and what you're building with the agency, and also really excited about your interest and enthusiasm for fractal governance too. I also want to give a special welcome to Swarthy too. We missed you at the Respect game and the town hall, but yeah, we are sticking around for probably another half hour or so for an extended fractal talking about Ryan's work with Create on Base and the agency and so forth. So thanks for joining us here, Swarthy. Really appreciate you being here. We did talk about scheduling a call for Fractal Nouns at some point too. So maybe at some point we can come back to that, and we talked about scheduling another town hall for sometime over the break where we can dive into Fractal Nouns, because Swarthy's been doing a really great job of both, helping to connect us with Ryan as well as working with Nouns Builder, nouns.build, and Nouns DAO, and starting up Fractal Nouns, working on an inter-DAO governance and all sorts of really exciting stuff to help fund and support the research and development of fractal communities. So that was one of the topics that received quite a lot of votes today. So Swarthy, at some point we can catch up and talk about scheduling a meeting if you're interested, a town hall meeting where we discuss some more detail with the Eden Fractal community. If you want to say hello, then feel free. You're always welcome to. We're kind of just having an open discussion here, and then that was also, I want to just bring it over to what Swarthy's working on. But yeah, Ryan I think is still unmuted. He says Swarthy says, "So sorry for being late today." No worries. I know that things can pop up and maybe you didn't see on your calendar or whatever, but well, you said practically missed the whole thing, but we just still have some time together. So appreciate you making it here with us, and we'll have lots more events coming next year as well. And like I said, we could organize another call to discuss fractal nouns, and we might also discuss some Eden Fractal stuff related too, because we had some interesting discussions today about having about pausing Optimism Fractal, which it seems like we probably will, and also about having more town halls and stuff. So we'll have a lot more opportunities for discussions in the coming weeks and months as well. Good to see you, by the way, Swarthy.
Yo, what's up, Swarthy? What's up, dude? Also, by the way, amazing that you also went to RITs all. Like, we're gonna have to connect on that, like, for sure. What years did you go?
So you're muted, by the way, right now. We see you. I don't know if you're trying to respond. He's putting up fingers. You know what that means? It means something good. Something good's coming from
Oh,
Saul.
2017 to 2022.
Okay.
Wow, dude, you're making me feel super old over here. I was there from 2008 to 2010.
Well, that's the time that I went to college as well, around that time. So I guess me and you, Ryan, can be the two old guys around here.
Yeah. Like, oh man. Well, speaking of old things, I love the branding of Eden Fractal. The Garden of Eden, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I love it, dude. Like, aren't we kind of trying to recreate that utopia somehow? I love it, man.
That's what we're going for, and we're building a protopia where we get better and better every day, even if it's a little bit better every day. And yeah, I love it too. And I don't even, there's a whole huge story about that. I thought I recently learned what the logo means in a new way. There's kind of apple in the middle, and I'm thinking about this new gardens idea, which I mentioned a few times, and it continues to like kind of put me in awe because it all kind of happened. I don't want to get too distracted from all the stuff that you're saying, but Eden Fractal, it started with the Eden community, which was a community, there's hundreds of people, and then I started along with some pioneers Eden Fractal out of that, and so it's taken on kind of a life of its own. And so really excited about the future that we'll have with Eden Fractal. And in a way, the Bible says that it all started in Genesis Eden too. So I don't know, we'll see where Eden Fractal goes. But I'm really excited about all the enthusiasm and support for Eden Fractal, as well as momentum and the Fractal ecosystem, as well as in the base ecosystem too. So thanks so much, Ryan, for your support and interest in Eden Fractal, as well as Swarthy too. Really appreciate all that you've done, as well as Zal too. Zal's done, maybe I may just throw some shout outs here, because Zal's done incredible work with his Zal Fractal. He's got a great brand and a great agency there too, and a great community. So I'm really excited where we're all going together, and I hope that Eden Fractal will serve everyone to help everyone accomplish their goals as well as possible. And I think that, aligned with some of the stuff that Ryan was saying about um, making the world a better place, and then the vision he laid out about how with Web3 we can solve so many of the world's issues, and help people cooperate so much better. And Zal talks a lot about with the ZAO about helping artists to earn for their work and to be rewarded, and for people not to be taken advantage of by old structures. And there's all of these different things that the blockchains enable, the ecosystems like Base and Ethereum enable, and fractal governance enable. So I'm really excited for all these things that we've achieved here at Eden Fractal over the past year, and 6 months since we launched Epoch 2, and past few years. And I'm really excited about all the things that we'll do together in the next year, alongside Base Creators Agency, Fractal Nouns, ZAO, Fractal, and many other communities too. And I see Swarthy wrote, "It's good to be with Zillennials." Is that a ZAO Lennials, or Zillennials, I guess?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
call us Zal. Yeah, Zollennials. I love it. ZM, everybody. I love it.
There we go. I guess it could even be a Zambia Millennials too, maybe. Now I'm looking at how Bobby just completed his IGCSNE in 2017. I guess that's a some sort of school thing, some kind of accreditation. So lots of different kinds of Millennials maybe. And Bobby also said everything that Ryan said is true. Create on Base is really going to bring the world together. ZMZM. So yeah, I'm really excited about the vision for Create on Base and bringing the world together. And I think you mentioned bringing billions of people on chain, which Jesse from Base often talks about, creating a global economy that maximizes freedom and creativity and innovation. I love the mission of Base, and the world needs to come on chain. There's going to be a lot of benefits from doing so, and a lot of problems that are solved. And thanks also for explaining those are Cambridge exams, Bobby, for anybody who's curious about the IGSCSCE. So yeah, glad to hear that
Yeah,
you completed
man.
those.
Let me also just interject too about like how that like really connects together, because like I feel like it's really kind of the world's most important ideas sometimes come from a place of like just like focused concentration, or like putting yourself in the right place, and then the world just speaks to you of like what it wants to happen, and you just go with it, and you just put yourself where it wants you to put yourself. And I think that's something that, speaking of like your experience coming from Eden, and then creating Fractal, and it sounds like it was something that you were not only in the right place at the right time, but you had put yourself in that place for a purpose, and then that purpose kind of evolved itself as you kind of stepped into what it called you into. And I think that's what a lot of all of this is like Jesse at On-Chain Summit kind of unlocked a lot more of what Base is about for him, when he talked about his kind of spiritual reason and foundation of what Base is all about. Because it has been so much about creating and building and accepting each other, and building together, but like really just underscoring it with the fact that he was raised as a Quaker. I think he said, wasn't it? Like, and I think he said that it's, one of his core beliefs that like, people should be, building a better world together. And that is not just a mission of Base itself, but also his kind of spiritual mission. And I was like, that just resonates on such a much like deeper level with me, even than I can even recognized on that moment, on that day. You know what I mean? Because those words went through and like processed, and I went on with my life, and I continued living my life, and I've been building for creators since 2012, and trying to build better places and better spaces for them. But kind of like it was around that time that like we started decentralizing on a much faster scale. Like we had already been decentralizing for several months. Like we had actually adopted the Based Creators name after Jesse had suggested that we drop the LLC from our username. So we were the Creators LLC on X for the longest time since like 2015 when that account had been made, I think. So the Based Creators account there is actually like it was the Creators LLC, and we were doing all of this under that username for the longest time. But then just everything that we were doing to kind of bring creators together with the Based Creators directory that we made earlier in the year, and all the kind of efforts that we've been making to kind of make Base's ecosystem goals our own. Like Jesse just suggested that we just change our name to Base Creators, and so kind of we just rolled with his suggestion because it's like that's kind of like his vision for what our organization should be. And so we're like, all right, you know what I mean? Like we kind of want to make sure that we're fully aligned with what kind of the vision of like, you know, who made all of this that we're working within, because Jesse is, you know, in some ways kind of the leader of this entire space of Base, which is now also so much like a leader of the entire crypto space right now, because I would say it's either Base or Solana or Binance. Like those are the three, you know, biggest players in the whole ecosystem. I don't think there's anything else that you could even like, you know, point to for the most part in terms of mass market penetration and what it actually is capable of doing. But you know, why Base is the right place for this, I think, is because of the fact that from the top down, it was made by someone with the heart that actually wants to change the world. And it all just kind of, you feel that coming from him. You can feel that coming from everybody he's hired. You can feel that coming from everybody that is working in the space, because we're kind of all attracted to that. Like all of us people who are trying to make the world a better place, we're kind of all called to find each other. It's not something that is even like that we even understand or feel like in the moment, but like we'll just be like hopping into each other's discords and just be like, whoa, I've never like spoken to you before, but like I feel like I should have. I feel like I'm in the right place. I've heard that exact words so many times over the last couple of weeks. It's kind of ridiculous. And like myself and my colleagues and everybody who's growing to become this team of teams that is just coming into this co-working space in the Discord, we all have these very similar stories of like how we're kind of feeling very cosmically aligned to like what we're all trying to do together, and just like how now that we have found each other, it's like, okay, now that we found each other, we're just going to make sure that we all get through and that we all do what we need to do here on this planet. And I feel like that's really, really like powerful. You know what I mean? Like we kind of are forming kind of like this alliance of folks that are not going to kind of let each other down or like kind of let each other fail or let each other stumble, because it's, you know, it's a fucking tough world out there, you know, for those of us who are trying to make the world a better place. We often get taken advantage of. We often get pummeled down. We often get you know, kind of beaten by the world because we're not going with the grain, because we're not like fitting in with like the society that wants us
Hey,
to just be
Ryan,
sheep and just, yeah.
I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to like add to the point. What I really like about this concept of why we're here in Web3 is the like in the traditional world, the world we're trying to get away from, consumers are fucked over for the sake of shareholders in XYZ reasons. And here, those two individuals are aligned in a single stakeholder, essentially, meaning that like you can help both your consumers and your shareholders all in one go. And I think that's the level up that like that's the new economy, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like 100%. And I think that I was kind of rambling anyway, so thanks for kind of capping that off with that, because that's actually absolutely true. Yeah.
All right. The inspiration is overflowing. This is awesome. I see some people putting up hearts and claps. There's also been some great messages in the chat too. Uh, Zal was saying how it's dope to hear what Jesse didn't know that. He loves his positivity at every level. I agree too. I showed on a little bit of, I don't know if the Eden Fractal audience is that familiar with Jesse's work, but he's the creator of Base. I actually just released the Jesse token today. He's on the Base app. The Base app is really exciting. He wants to be the number one creator in the world, and you can check out his work on at Jesse Polak to learn more. And I agree with everything you said there, Ryan and Zal as well about there's a lot of really exciting things about bass. There's so much exciting things, and there is that deep spiritual element. I feel that very strongly with Eden and Eden Fractal, and as you were saying before, like the world kind of puts you in places, and then things happen as a result of that. Like you find that you're in the right place, and I don't know. There's a big spiritual component to what we're building, I think, and I think that helps us be even stronger together. That different people feel such a strong reason and need um, to do this work together of bringing people on chain and help people to cooperate with fractals and help musicians and help artists and help creators and builders and so forth. So I could also go on a soapbox too and share a lot here, but I just want to say that I really appreciate all that you shared there, Ryan and Zal too, and I completely agree. And the past years of Eden Fractal and the past years of Ethereum, Ethereum just turned 10 years old and Base is really scaling Ethereum along with other L2s. But, like you said, like most of the action right now is happening on Base and there's this amazing leadership happening at Base. Um, Ethereum is 10 years old, Base is a couple years old, Eden Fractal is 4 years old, just about. And for a lot of this time, we've been building, kind of the foundations. Also, I don't know how old, I think you said that the agency is 12 years old, if I'm not mistaken, Ryan. And then Base Creators, that's one of the questions I want to ask you too. We had planned for me to ask some questions or anybody ask questions, but we wound up just, so far, at least, just sharing a lot of inspiring thoughts and better getting to know each other and our motivations. At some point, it'd be good. I love the direction. At some point, it'd always be good to get some questions. But one question I had in particular, maybe I can ask now or just kind of throw out there that you can come back to at some point. Is like, I don't totally understand the relationship between, I see Bobby said, I think Base is 4 or 5 years. I think maybe, I think it's probably been in development for longer, but I think Base officially launched, if you went to their blog back in like 2023, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2022. So I think it's more
I
like
think
three
that
years,
was
but.
like, yeah, I think that was like a test net. I think that was like
Mhm.
early base because like I came into it like it was like the beginning of like 2024. Um, and it had like just started like I think maybe half a year before that. So it was like, it was still kind of like really like kicking off and like everybody was just like suddenly this was the place to go. So that was like the first time that most people, I guess, had like heard of it like on the mass scale because
Mhm.
like, we came in from outside that ecosystem from GameStop NFT, which is like a loop ring layer two, which is the first ever ZK rollup layer two. It was not EVM compatible. It was more like an API layer two ZK rollup, which is really an interesting and also not very compatible ecosystem. But like, yeah, that whole time we discovered Base. It was like early 2024, and then all the creators from the GameStop NFT marketplace and everybody who was still following me at the time, we all started exploring over on Base, and then it was mid 2024 when we did a collaboration with Wu-Tang Clan and Method Man, and we brought a bunch of food and school supplies to kids in the Dominican Republic together with like 70 communities on Farcaster and Base, and then like 300 plus artists that all collaborated, and we did it like a collective art auction in the metaverse. So that was kind of like the highlight of 2024 on Base for me and for this organization.
All right. Thanks for the additional context about how you learned about Base. And also, I saw Zal wrote that he was onboarded from GameStop as well and only knows the cryptos because of the game GME marketplace. I remember actually hearing Zal talk about that in one of his talks on one of the podcasts, and it's really interesting to hear your history, how you came to Base through GameStop as well. And yeah, also Bobby shared some other things too about how Base came and gave authorization, and Create on Base is helping to learn and experience while we find a way to have a structure that works for all. The earliest articles from Base was Meet Base in February 3rd, 2023. So it's just about 3 years ago when they announced the launch of the testnet of Base. And I remember hearing around that time, that's actually what drew me to Optimism Fractal or Optimism at the time because they launched it on Optimism with the OP stack. And that's around the time we launched Optimism Fractal on October of 2023, because at the time Eden Fractal was operating on EOS, another blockchain, um, with a totally different kind of software. We wanted to move over to Ethereum, move over to the EVM, and we saw that Base was building on Optimism. And that was actually, I remember listening to a podcast with, I believe, Jesse, and then I listened to the Optimism guys and decided that was the right way for to practically just to go, or at least it seemed like it. And then I talked with Tadas and Vlad and others. And so interesting to see how we all come together over Base, and how it's brought us together, as well as GameStop as well. I don't have that much experience with GameStop, but I did like to go buy games there when I was younger. So is there something you'd like to jump in with here, Ryan?
Yeah, and I just love I didn't realize or hear earlier, Zal, that your first experience with crypto was through GameStop NFT, and like that's fucking amazing. Because like, I mean, did you read the Zendesk? Were you reading the Zendesk on there? I wrote that whole thing because I was the education lead and community manager, which is actually I was leading myself in both departments because there was no other employees under me. So I was fully responsible for community management on GameStop NFT and fully responsible for all the education as well. So I was playing both roles, and that was quite the job. But it was also like one of the most rewarding and like kind of, I guess, I learned so much on that job from Matt Finestone, who was the one who kind of taught me and brought me up from nothing in terms of Ethereum knowledge and Web3 and NFT knowledge. Like, man, like I love the fact that I was an investor in GameStop in the community, and I just applied to GameStop NFT, having zero knowledge of NFTs or Web3. Like I knew about crypto, but I had no knowledge about NFTs. And Matt Finestone trained me up, and like basically we went through the whole process of like documenting what somebody doesn't know as they're learning, and like that's like the most important thing, is to like know what people don't know, because he was already so experienced that he had forgotten what people didn't know, so he needed somebody like me who didn't know yet, and he was like, I'm just going to train you from nothing. I'm like, okay. I'm just an ape from the GameStop community, with a completely moldable brain, so let's go. I've got Play-Doh for brains. Let's go. So yeah.
All right, sounds good. I see Zal's still muted, so maybe Zal's on the run. So maybe we can hear more about Zal's experience with GameStop soon when he gets back. Also, I want to mention about the time too. So we're at 10 minutes from the top of the hour, and we have been here. Some of us have been here for 3 hours, and I know Ryan said he had to go in about 10 minutes or so, I think. Very interesting to hear more of the context with the GameStop, Ryan. But I also want to just being conscious of the time, just see what we want to try to achieve here in the next 10 minutes as well. So we originally mentioned I'd ask some questions, and I maybe ask some questions. I see Zal's back now. Good to see you, Zal. If you want to respond to
I mean,
if you want to
I
respond
could
to
talk
Ryan, what's
about
up?
this for hours and hours and hours, but yeah, no, it's everything that Ryan said is super interesting to get more into, and like for me, like I didn't have any like celebrities in the space that I was that interested in meeting, other than GameStop individuals. So once I met Ryan and got more involved over there, it was really cool to just see more people coming from the background that I came into to come into crypto, and just kind of hearing every single person's story of being like, oh, okay, XYZ with the traditional stock market isn't working, so let's just fucking build it ourselves. And I just love that like mentality and energy. So yeah, I can talk about this stuff all day. So yeah, the only issue is I might lose some connection here, so I'll be in and out. But I'm always game to continue talking. I got a 30-minute, 40-minute drive here, but I know Swarthy also popped in too.
Yeah.
Just
So
just real quick to cap that off too. Yeah, that energy that we were all feeling, back in like 2021 of like changing the world, like I really want to bring that back because I feel like this is part of it. Like, this is part of that same whole thing of like, oh, we have an opportunity to kind of punch up against the billionaires that are kind of like enslaving us all. Let's just buy GameStop. That's all we have to do. Okay. And like in my opinion, the call to action now is to bring friends on chain, to start a chapter, to like start kind of the movement, to start, bring people into this cultural movement, and to just like literally just like teach them about crypto, be a teacher and teach someone else how to teach. And we're going to change the world in that way if we turn it into just an intentional cultural movement.
I I agree. I see Zal's given claps, and yeah, I think education about Web3, it's vital. I'm confident about that. I have very high conviction about it. I'm sure of it. And now that the infrastructure is built with Base and what you've been doing with Base creators, with educational community engagement, what we've been doing with Eden Fractal, and technical governance and stuff like that, and with Zal and Swarthy and many others have been doing. Like we're at a place where 2026 we can um, really have a practical path to doing that and make a really big impact in 2026 and in the years to come. Um, so I'd like to bring it back here because we have 7 minutes top of the hour, and we have some kind of like to-dos or things that are I don't know, just things that I think would be helpful to discuss to help focus our conversations to be as effective as possible to make the world a better place, to accomplish Eden Fractal's mission and vision of implementing fractal decision-making processes throughout society to help all community organizations make the best decisions possible. Um, and to help all of our communities and initiatives thrive. So, um, I have four things or five things on my notes right now. Just like wrote down some quick things. So one, I had some questions for Ryan specifically that I still don't have total clarity about with the agency, with base creators, and with the synergies and collaborations with the Fractal ecosystem. So I'd like to discuss those. I don't know if we have time to do that right now, but I'm just going to put that out there. We also had discussed I know Tadas also had some questions about the agency, so we discussed scheduling another call to discuss the agency in more detail, and Ryan expressed interest in that, so we could potentially do that sometime soon. And I know Ryan also there's some specific kind of calls to action. I know people can sign up for and get involved with this initial NFT collection, and that will provide opportunities to get more involved. So I'd like to see like what are the priorities and calls to action, and is it worth to schedule a call, and if so, when? And then also Ryan had mentioned the idea of implementing fractal governance into Base Creators app and stuff like that at some point. That'd be cool to discuss too. We could figure out when is the right time to talk about that. And Fractal Nouns, Swarthy has made this proposal twice to discuss Fractal Nouns and Fractal Tokenomics over the past couple of Eden Town Hall events, and we didn't get to discuss it thoroughly since then. So one of the topics that Tadas had proposed was having a Eden Town Hall sometime over the break, specifically to discuss Fractal Nouns as well, and we could schedule that and find a good time to do so if you're interested, Timothy. Also, Zal had put over the past month or so, me and Zal have met a couple of times on Fridays, and so he also put in the chat that we could have Swarthy join those Friday calls, which would be great. So we could also discuss that in a call, with me, you, and Zal. Swarthy, if you're interested, and or we can do it in the Eden Town Hall. Because I'm really excited. I know Tadas is really excited too about what you're doing with Fractal Nouns, and I apologize that we haven't had time at these town halls so far to discuss and dive in deeper, but really interested to see how we can best collaborate with your initiatives with Fractal Nouns, as well as also something I should announce kind of or mention because Swarthy shared kind of an update in the Eden Fractal chat, saying how the bad community, which I don't remember, it's African, feel free to jump in, something acronym for bad. There's a community of people who, Timothy has been working to help implement the respect game, and Zal also helped run a preliminary first respect game with the bad community. They were, I think he said they're planning to join this Thursday, but I guess they couldn't make it, as far as I'm aware. But he's planning to launch ORDAO, and maybe they can join us at a future town hall. We could also organize a town hall where the bad community could potentially come and speak and introduce. I know it's kind of short notice. I see Swarthy wrote, happy to set a date over the break. Can you repeat what the Friday call you mentioned is? Can let me make it that? Yeah, me and Zal have been meeting sometimes at Friday morning. So maybe I'll just follow up in the chat there. That's just been a private call between me and Zal. We've done two of them over the past month or so, and we have we have time in the calendar that we've been trying to meet. The past couple of weeks we haven't made it because we've been busy, but I think we're planning to do it tomorrow, and so that's the time we have in the calendar that we could potentially all meet between the three of us. It's kind of an open conversation. I was helping Zal with some Zal Fractal stuff, as well as Zal was expressing interest in helping out with some broader Fractal stuff. So that would be a great place to discuss between the three of us regarding Fractal Noun stuff, as well as when we want to have a town hall discussion for, discussing with Tadas and discussing with Eric and everyone else, and also publish a video about it. Then we can schedule a town hall for, sometime in a couple weeks or next month or something like that too. I see sounds good to me. If you want to talk tomorrow, sounds good. So yeah, let's follow up in the chat about that. I think we're going to probably need at 11:30 a.m. if I'm not mistaken, Zal. I see Zal shaking his head yes. So if that's good with you, Swarthy, then we'll send you the link to that and we can all talk. And then during that time, we could also maybe coordinate another town hall where we discuss what to talk about publicly. Maybe that'd be a good idea. But we'll just do a private call for now. And I know, yeah, I know Ryan's got to go in 3 minutes, and I brought up some ideas about next steps for the agency, like kind of like there was certain things that have timelines. I know there was also the idea of the fractal takeover of the timeline, I believe you called it, where there's like a lot of promotions for fractals that are supported by the agency and the base creators. And there's just so much more we could dive into with all these topics. So in addition to just diving in more generally and getting better understanding, also figuring out like the specifics that we might want to accomplish or might want to discuss and have like maybe a focused conversation or a focused kind of process in the chat to provide Ryan and the agency and base creators with what they're seeking as far as support with the implementation of fractal governance process into these at some point, as well as how we can best participate. Because I'm still not totally clear on the best ways. Like I don't know exactly what the best way to participate in the fractal takeover of the timeline is, because as Tadas said, we're not currently promoting we're not having another Eden Fractal event for another almost 2 months, so we could invite people to join then, or we could just give out general information about fractals. So that could benefit from some coordination.
Also, conversely, Dan, I'm never gonna say that we don't need more attention on the Zao fractal, and we aren't taking a break. So we can easily make the break portion of the Zao fractal, friendly to people learning about fractals. So I'm always game for that.
Okay. Yeah, and I think January 15th is a time that we can let people know to get ready for, to come and attend. Yeah.
Okay, sounds great. Sounds perfect. Yes, I'll host a Zao Fractal on, I believe it's Mondays at 6 p.m. EST. I recommend people checking it out. It's in the Zao Discord. It's a great time. There's an awesome community there, and Zal is an awesome Respect Game host and facilitator. So encourage people to join that over the break. And that'll be a great place to continue playing Respect games, and also people, especially there's a lot of great creators and musicians there too you can meet, but everyone's welcome, I believe, at the Zao Fractal. And you can also learn about fractal governance there. And then, yeah, we can coordinate Ryan to also promote, because it would be great to build up to build up a lot of momentum for Eden Fractal when it returns for season 12 on January 15th. So any support there in raising awareness for Eden Fractal would be great. And then also Swarthy said that we should wait for the Fractal Nouns auction to be up. So, and there's a CTA, a call to action besides attend. So that's another thing. I still don't know exactly the vision of the auction, so maybe we can talk about that tomorrow, Swarthy. And then maybe we can follow up with Ryan about, I suppose, all like the calls to action. There's also a lot of calls to action as well about education. Like in addition to attending, there's, we can highlight some articles and highlight some key insights about fractal governance and why it's useful. And also in 2026, we want to help, now that we have the ORDAO software that's quite stable, and we have a lot of apps that are like almost ready for like widespread production ready, but they're ready for some communities. We can start really kind of building up more people adopting fractal governance and ORDAO and implementing their communities. So there's lots of kind of calls to action and different things we can educate people about to help people understand fractal governance, as well as help people build stronger communities on Base and help accomplish the Base creators and agents' goals, as well as Zao and Fractal Nouns too. You have thoughts, Ryan?
That's great. Yeah, I have a hard out. I got to go. I left my calendar. Let's definitely get another time, and looking forward to it.
Okay, sounds good. I'll follow up with you in the chat and book a calendar. We can also discuss maybe a town hall too and see what works best. And I see you shared discord.thecreators.com where people can also share thoughts, throughout the week as well. So thanks so much, Ryan, for joining us here. It's been wonderful talking with you, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with you. All right, and Swarthy and Zal, is there anything else? Do we want to talk more about fractal nouns now? I am pretty tired because I've been here for 3 hours looking at the screen and talking a lot. So I would like to wrap it up pretty soon. But if there's anything else we want to discuss, I think we're planning to meet with the three of us tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. That's EST, by the way. And then Swarley, do you think it'd also be useful to have a town hall scheduled for fractal nouns at some point where we can like kind of more publicly talk about it, or maybe that's just something we can talk about tomorrow? We can just kind of get a better idea and understanding of the best way to proceed tomorrow. Maybe that's the best approach, and also
Yeah,
the
we can.
bad community too.
I think we can set a public meeting tomorrow when we talk. But it'll
Hmm.
probably be good to have one between now and then over the break.
Hmm. Okay, sounds good. And then we can also talk about the bad community as well too, because I'm very curious to learn more about the bad community. And if it'd be useful, maybe if we have a public meeting where they can join too, or we can just invite them to join Zao Fractal. And I suppose maybe they're playing weekly respect games now too. But I'd just be curious to learn more about that tomorrow as well too, if we have time for that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll bring you up to speed.
Okay, sounds great. Is there anything else we should discuss here at this extended Eden Fractal event, the last one
Why
of the
don't
season?
you invite Swarthy to the Notion for the Zao Fractal space? We can make another one for Fractal. I think you already have one for Fractal now, Swarthy, but I would think just since we're going to be doing these meetings, I think a couple of the meetings are already in. I'm not sure exactly what's where, but I know Swarthy works well on Notion and is very familiar with UI. So if you want before tomorrow to share over Eden Fractal, Optimism Fractal, and the Zao Fractal spaces, I think that would be a good place to do more of the co-building work with all three of us, rather than bombarding the Eden Fractal Telegram if we can.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, feel free to also share the messages in the Eden Fractal Telegram chat. I love to see you guys have both shared some great messages there, so you're always welcome to share more there. And that's also interesting for other community members to be able to see, even if they're not in our more private spaces. But yeah, as well, for context, sort of the last time that me and Zal met, we discussed that Zal has been interested to get more into Notion. And I know both you and I are very into Notion. And then I helped Zal start up a Zao Fractal Notion page, where we've just basically started to curate a couple early notes about like guides for people hosting fractals and starting fractals and attending fractals and stuff like that, as well as some transcripts from our past two events. So I invite you there. I think that's what you suggested, right? Zal, to invite Swarthy to this Our Fractal Notion page, and then that's where we can also share any documentation in addition to the Fractal Nouns chat or Fractal Nouns chat or Notion, I suppose. But that would be a place where we can coordinate our meeting as well in this Our Fractal Notion space. Does that sound good? And was that your intention,
Yeah.
Zal, or did I mistake that? Good? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So I'm inviting Timothy now with access to the Zao Fractal team space. And is there anything else we should discuss before we wrap it up today?
Nope. You guys have been here for a while. I'll look to talk to you tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Well, I look forward to talking with you tomorrow too. Really appreciate all the ways that you've been contributing, Swarthy, and really excited to collaborate and do amazing things with you going forward. Amazing work with Bad Community and Fractal Nouns too. So just want to say that before we go. And yeah, looking forward to furthering our discussions tomorrow. For anybody who's watching, this has been the final Eden Fractal event of season 11, and we will be returning on January 15th of 2026 for Eden Fractal. Stay tuned in the Eden Fractal Telegram chat, t.me/Eden Fractal. for just looking at Timothy's screen with the "Have you found me" guy, the milk guy. It's kind of funny. Um, I'm just hanging out with the guy in the milk with SPF over here. Um, yeah, for anybody who's for I don't even know what I was gonna say anymore. We hope to see you at the upcoming events. Check out lu.ma optimistics to register for the upcoming events. As we said, Optimism Fractal may be going on pause too, so stay tuned. Check out t.me Eden Fractal and Optimism Fractal Discord for updates on there, as well as potential town halls that are scheduled over the break. And check out Zao Fractal, Fractal Nouns, all the other things that are happening in the Fractal ecosystem as well to get more involved. Thanks all for watching. Thanks all for a wonderful 2025. I'm so excited to embark on 2026 with you and do amazing things to accomplish Eden Fractal's bold vision and mission. Swarthy, would you like to share any last words before we wrap it up? And would you be willing to join me for a Go Eden Fractal whenever you're ready?
Absolutely willing to join you for a Go Eden Fractal.
All right. Are you ready now?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Go Eden Fractal! All right. Thanks all so much. Thank you, Swarthy. Big shout out to everyone who joined today, and big shout out to everyone who watched. And we'll see you next time.